Hey guys, so the last makeup video that I have to make for today, the School for Scandal. Um, let's talk about the School for Scandal. It was written by Richard Brinsley Sheridan, um, who was born in 1751 and died in 1816. Um, Yet another Irish playwright. Um, and, um, He was a long-term owner of the London Theatre Royal, Theatre Royal in Drury Lane. And he was a member of Parliament. Um, some of his works, The Rivals, The Trip to Scarborough, Critic, School for Scandal, which is his best-known play. And yeah. This play was originally supposed to be two plays, but he combined the plays into one. As I will describe in the plot, it's a really anti-Semitic text, and London was anti-Semitic at the time. Also another statement seen in the play, meddlesome people who are nosy and stuff, and that was true of Londoners as well. I'm actually excited to talk about this play. I enjoyed it and I thought it was interesting. I thought, I don't know, maybe if I picked up too many anti-Semitic things, I don't know, I wouldn't say all the characters were, Jewish, but the way certain stereotypes and certain behaviors were presented, it fit everything of stereotypical anti-Jew. So, I mean, like anti kind of anti-Jewish, stereotypical kind of that kind of stuff. But yeah, and I'll talk about that. But this was performed at Theatre Royal, 1777 in England. Another comedy of manners. So in the play, in the first scene, Lady Steerwell is a wealthy young widow, and her hireling Snake discusses her various scandal spreading plots, and she confides that Joseph wants to marry Maria, and Joseph Sartis and Charles Sartis are under the guardianship of Sir Peter Teasle, and so these two characters, and then Joseph wants Maria, who is an heiress, and she wants Charles, and thus she and Joseph are plotting, and by she I mean Lady Steerwell, are plotting to alienate Maria from Charles by pulling out rumors of an affair between Charles and Sir Peter's new young wife, Lady Teasle. So trickery, and nosiness. So Sir Peter complains of his wife's spendthrift ways. He also complains that Maria has refused Joseph, whom she calls a model for the young man of the age, and seems attached to Charles, whom he doesn't like as much. And Sir Peter argues with his wife, refusing to be ruined by her extravagance, and she excuses herself and departs to visit Lady Steerwell, and he declares that he's still charmed by her. And at Lady Steerwell's, everyone's having fun at the expense of friends not present, making fun of people, and people are disgusted. So, in the next scene, Sir Oliver calls on his old friend, Sir Peter, and they talk about the Surface Brothers, and Sir Peter praises Joseph's high morals, but suspects Oliver, but Oliver suspects that he may be a hypocrite. So, Sir Oliver decides his plan to visit each of the brothers in a disguised manner, and Sir Oliver is actually uncle to to Charles and Joseph. He's a long lost uncle, and he decides to test their characters, and he's gonna, guess what, disguise himself. Another play with disguise. Yeah, I think I'll actually make a separate video talking about disguise in detail. The different plays that I've read so far that deal with disguise. That I think that's an important subject that I should address. And their needy relatives, and he'll disguise himself as a needy relative, Mr. Stanley, and asks each for his help. And Rowley, this other guy, also brings the friendly Jew Moses, who's a moneylender who tries to help Charles to explain Charles's position. So when he visits, Charles will be Premium, and when he visits Joseph, he's going to be Stanley. Sir Peter is left alone when Maria enters, and he tries to convince her to marry Joseph by expressing him as a worthier match than Charles, whom she favors. And when she's not persuaded, he threatens her with the authority of a guardian. So Sir Oliver, as Sir Premium, arrives with Moses at Charles's house. And Charles and his guests drink heavily, and they prepare for a night of gambling. And Charles asks Premium for credit, noting that Sir Oliver, who he believes is in India, will soon leave him a fortune. And Premium discounts this possibility, noting that Sir Oliver may live many years or disinherit his nephew. And he asks if Charles has any valuables of his own to sell for immediate cash, and Charles admits that he sold the family silver and his late father's library and offers to sell the family portrait collection. So Charles goes on to sell all the family portraits to Premium using the rolled up family tree as an auction hammer, and however, he actually refuses to sell the last portrait, which is of Sir Oliver, who he sees as his benefactor, and Charles will not sell it even when Premium offers to pay as much for it as all the rest. So he's moved by this, and Charles sends £100 of the proceeds for the relief of Mr. Stanley. Sir Oliver, reflecting on Charles's character with Moses, is met by Rowley, who's brought him £100 to send to Stanley. And Sir Oliver plans to get him to meet his other nephew in the person of Stanley. So Joseph anxiously waits for a visit from Lady Teazle, while Sir Peter enters and tells Joseph that he suspects an affair between Charles and Lady Teazle. And Joseph hypocritically professes confidence in Charles's and Lady Teazle's honor. And Charles's arrival is announced, and Sir Peter decides to hide and have Joseph sound Charles out about his relationship with Lady Teazle. Now Charles enters, and Joseph questions him about Lady Teazle, and he passes off his comments about Joseph and Lady Teazle as a joke. So, anyway, Sir Oliver enters visits Joseph, and Joseph greets Stanley, who is really Sir Oliver, with these effusive professions of great will, but refuses to give him any financial assistance, saying that he has no money to give. And Stanley suggests that Sir Oliver would help him if he were there, and that Joseph might pass on some of what Sir Oliver had given him, but Joseph tells Stanley that Sir Oliver is in fact very stingy and that has given him nothing except trinkets such as tea, shawls, and Indian crackers, which pisses him off. Anyway, it's Sir Peter tells Lady Sneerwell Miss Cantor, Sir Benjamin Crabtree are exchanging rumors about the Teasel affair. And Sir Benjamin says Peter was wounded in the sword fight with Joseph, while Crabtree says it was a pistol duel with Joseph and with Charles. So, a lot of gossip. Sir Oliver says he's met both of his nephews and agrees with Sir Peter's estimate of Joseph's high character, but then acknowledges with laughter that he knows the story of what happened at Joseph's with the closet and the screen. So Lady Sneerwell complains to Joseph that Sir Peter now knows the truth about Joseph, and he'll allow Charles to marry Maria. So Sir Oliver arrives, and Joseph takes him for Stanley and orders him out, and then Charles recognizes him as Premium, and despite the identity confusion, both brothers want the man out before Sir Oliver comes. And then Oliver is revealed, and then Sir Oliver, Sir Peter, and Lady Teasel together condemn Joseph, but Oliver forgives Charles because of his refusal to sell Oliver's picture and his generosity to his Uncle Stanley. So Maria, however, declines to give Charles her hand, citing his supposed involvement with Lady Sneerwell. Joseph now reveals Lady Sneerwell, and Charles is baffled, and Rowley then summons Snake, and Snake, however, survives to turn against Sneerwell, so her lie is exposed. So Charles and Maria are reconciled, and Charles makes no promises about reforming, but indicates that Maria's influence will keep him on a virtuous path, and that is the end of the play. Anyway, hold on one sec. So, main characters, we have Teasel, who loves his young wife, and until there's like this affair going on, which was pretty much made up by Lady Sneerwell. Maria's in love with Charles. Charles is honorable, and there's that whole thing with Lady Teasel. Joseph is in love with Maria. Is more greedy. Sir Oliver, the trickster, and tests his nephews, and Lady Teasel's Spencer. I apologize for the background noise. My dad's on the phone. I can't do anything about it. Let me try going into the bathroom. Hold on. That's annoying. So, sorry, I'm on the toilet, but I'm just sitting. So, anyway. Two themes on privacy and anti-Semitism. Let's talk about anti-Semitism, because I've been anxious to talk about that. There are a lot of stereotypes here with the Jews, seen in this play. We have the nosy Jew, Sneerwell, the greedy Jew, Charles, Peter, and Joseph, the trickster Jew, Oliver Moses. We have the gossiping Jews. So that's who was that? That was Carter, Sneerwell, Benjamin Crabtree, and Sneerwell. So the gossiping Jews. And so a lot of at least 4 stereotypes: nosy, greedy, trickster, and gossipy. That are associated with Jews in literature. So is this an anti-Semitic text? Yes, in many ways. There are several mentions of Jews in this play. It's not like we have Moses and I think Surface are Jews, but we don't know about the other characters. But there are a lot of characters who there are a lot of spoken instances about Judaism, and if my conclusions are true about all this anti-Semitism, like all these stereotypes is involved with the play, this play is highly offensive. Also privacy, really contemporary of our society. Privacy is a big thing with lives of celebrities, our lives, friends, family, just butting into our lives, and that is one thing that this play that is presentable to contemporary audiences. It does deal with the issue of privacy and how people meddle in each other's lives. And that kind of connects with the anti-Semitic thing. A lot of Jewish culture revolves around how Jewish people get involved in each other's lives, especially mothers and women and the community, as is actually presented in like TV shows like The Nanny and a lot of Jewish comedy. We do see that it's not just something that anti-Semitics would say. I think Jews make fun of themselves in that they're meddlesome in each other's lives. And it's a cultural thing, as is seen in Middle Eastern countries. But I'm guessing London did have a large Jewish population. Other anti-Semitic texts that I can think of: Merchant of Venice, Oliver Twist. There's another one. There's another big one. I can't remember. There's definitely another anti-Semitic text. Anyway, In Disguise is hand-in-hand with Trickery. Really easy to read text, really well structured, interesting themes. Again, I wouldn't recommend putting on this play because it's anti-Semitic. It can be interpreted as that by smart people. With Disguise, it goes hand in hand with School for Scandal, and not School for Scandal. This is School for Scandal. She stoops to conquer and recruiting officer and other plays I've read. The whole thing with Disguise. Also with the plays I just mentioned, School, She Scoops to Conquer and Recruiting Officer. Sorry, I'm totally high on caffeine. I just had lots of caffeine today, so I'm just bubbly. Anyway, those are examples of comedy manners and high comedy, and this is yet another example of high comedy. And yeah, so that's all I have for that. And I'm now caught up. Well, pretty much. I'm caught up for today. So I'll be actually caught up by the end of the week. So anyway, bye.